Hey everyone! Today we're diving into one of the most intriguing mysteries in electrical engineering. How could Tesla's worldwide wireless system have actually worked? To understand this, we need to look at some fascinating ideas about the nature of electricity itself. Nikola Tesla claimed he could transmit power wirelessly across the globe. Many dismiss this as impossible, but what if he understood something about electricity that we've overlooked? To understand Tesla's system, we need to start with Maxwell's equations. But more importantly, we need to understand what Maxwell thought these equations meant. Maxwell believed these equations described a medium that filled all space, the ether. While we don't believe in the classical ether anymore, the math suggests something interesting about space itself. Here's the key insight. Maxwell's equations include two important constants, epsilon and mu. Traditionally, we think of these as fixed constants. But what if they're not constant at all? What if they can vary in space and time? Look at these two equations. Gauss's law and the electric elasticity equation. We can substitute D in the first equation and get this new equation. Ignoring the spatial gradient of epsilon, the second term, and only looking at temporal variations in epsilon, we see that the electric field around a charge will vary with epsilon. These variations can be picked up by a receiver Tesla coil. Now we're getting to how Tesla's system might have worked. The Earth contains a certain amount of this electromagnetic medium. By creating standing waves in this medium, not regular electric currents, we can create electrical effects at distant points on Earth's surface, all without current flowing through the Earth or air. Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower wasn't just a big Tesla coil, it was designed to create oscillations in the medium itself, establish standing waves around the Earth, generate electric effects at distant points, all without pushing electrical current through space. This is completely different from how we normally think about wireless power. Traditional wireless power pushes electromagnetic waves through space, while Tesla's system would modify the properties of space itself. Effects could theoretically travel without the losses we see in regular transmission. This interpretation explains why. Tesla insisted his system was different from radio. He claimed it could transmit power efficiently over any distance. Electrical effects could appear without current flow. While we may never know if Tesla's system would have worked exactly as he planned, understanding the theory behind it gives us a new way to think about electricity and space itself. Maybe it's time to revisit some of these old ideas with modern technology. Now I can already hear some of you typing furiously in the comments about why this can't work. Let's address the major objections one by one. But wait, you might say, the Michelson-Morley experiment. It's often cited as the definitive proof that the ether doesn't exist. But let's look at three critical flaws in their reasoning. 1. No matter what light travels through, it is always the ether that carries the waves. In Fizeau's experiment, the water influenced the velocity of the light, but ether was the carrier of this light. The conclusion that the velocity of the ether would affect the velocity of light is not logically following from Fizeau's experiment. 2. Water is a medium composed of molecules. It has an inner structure which may interfere with the propagation of light. Ether, on the other hand, is a homogeneous, incompressible medium which makes it difficult to see what influence its state of motion would have. It is even difficult to talk about a state of motion of this medium. 3. The Earth's atmosphere would affect the velocity of light in the same manner as water did in Fizeau's experiment. The second part of Michelson's hypothesis was that as the Earth moves through space, it probably also moves through the ether. This too is a grave mistake. One of the reasons that scientists have called the ether into existence was to explain action at a distance. Matter cannot act where it is not. A force can only be conveyed through physical contact if we want to get away from magic. If, for example, two magnets act upon each other without physical contact, then there must be a medium to convey that force. The ether was that medium. The fact that the Earth, and in fact all planets, circle the sun, implies that the sun must somehow create a vortex in the ether that drags the planets along. To assume that after billions of years there would still be a difference in the velocity of the ether and the planets is highly illogical. Next, Lorentz and Poincaré showed that due to the Lorentz transformation, ether drift would always be undetectable. Thus, the zero result was explained as a necessary outcome, independent of the state of motion of the ether. Summing it all up, the Michelson-Morley experiment did not prove anything and could not prove anything, but it provided numerous lessons to be learned. But what about relativity, I hear you ask? As we look at matter on smaller and smaller scales, familiar properties like color and density lose their meaning. At quantum scales, we can't even clearly define position or motion. If we can't define motion, how can it contradict relativity? Let's talk evidence. We have Rogers ground antenna achieving crystal clear intercontinental radio. The 85 millisecond echo, first claimed by Tesla and later verified. 7.5 Hertz rhythmical variations in epsilon naught detected in our experiments. Here's a thought experiment about curved space. If you have a ruler measuring a rectangle, in space deforms, the ruler deforms with it. From within that space, everything still looks normal. You can't detect space curvature from within that space. So when LIGO detected gravitational waves, it wasn't measuring curved space. It was detecting waves in a physical medium. Finally, what about quantum fields? Remember, a field is a mathematical description, not a physical thing. This medium could very well be what quantum fields are describing. As Einstein himself said in 1920, empty space having properties makes no sense. Properties need something to be a property of. These aren't just convenient explanations. They're logical necessities. Our theory doesn't conflict with modern physics. It provides the physical basis that modern physics mathematical models are describing. If you found this fascinating, hit subscribe for more deep dives into Tesla's work and the mysteries surrounding it. Let me know in the comments what you think about Tesla's wireless system.